Beautiful people, do know you are never alone. Although it's not easy to be alive on the planet today, deciphering where to go, what to do, how to change, letting go of the old is just, cycling and recycling in the brain until we do the work, because nothing goes unless we start to work with energies and start to understand what it is to raise our vibration, to raise our consciousness and step out of the old moralities. We have been living in moral values for a vast amount of time, far too long, until the pandemic came along, changed consciousness, moving globally and getting to know each other a lot better. So it brought so many good things. We are communicating a lot more globally. Then again, if we look at moral values such as gratitude, such as being honest, sharing stuff, having that empathic approach towards experiences, being compassionate with people, but especially turning into cooperation, respect, and equality has been forgotten for a large amount of time, because morality in essence is connected to cultural values. Morality is connected to the old valleys on the earth, and I actually term the earth a valley of that potential that is rising into the mountains of high level wisdom. That is how you may start to comprehend what is turning around, because it is quite not enough to have all these values, where if you live in a particular area on the planet and, for example, you move to Afghanistan, where a nose of a woman is being cut off because she looks at another man, or you go into a different country where the cow is sacred, so you cannot eat that meat, or where is your value, your moral value there? Are you going to respect it? Are you going to catapult it in oblivion? Or what are you going to do with it? So morality is quite not enough. And that is the reason why we are rising our consciousness together globally as one family unit of light. Returning into oneness is another term that is not easily understood. And somehow I could explain this from the origin. If we go back into the essence, your pure essence, which is essentially light, and the dead valley, or what came with the matrix. If you've seen the matrix, you know, taking the blue or the red pill, that is what it's all about. And the return into the repair of earth is happening massively. So we all want to open up that eternal internal messaging system. We want to know how to move ahead, how to move forward, and how to release these dead experiences that created so much chaos, that created experiences we never wanted, but they arrived on our platters somehow. And so at times it is not easy to understand yourself and how to deal with your own emotional content, your mentality, your psychology, because in this age there's so much falseness, betrayal all around. So it's very, very hard to decipher right from wrong. And the only thing I can truly, put here back together is bringing the understanding that the earth during, the 666 period here in June has been claiming its return into its origin with vast amounts of technology through which we can reconnect. I think most people can very, very easily tune in what the pyramids all over the planet, that that they have a deeper meaning. It's a triangular equation. And so what I'm willing to offer here in this small video is like, if you can start to understand that duality is streaming on, you know, a lane or a highway that moves from A to B, and there's no C. You always get stuck, you know. You start cycling from A to B, from B to A, and you never get out of it. And so actually the science, how to move out of it, science, spiritual science, I've been studying in that for 20 years now, is moving our dual consciousness into triangular consciousness, or the pyramidal functions. Now, if we look at Egypt and all those stuff, we do know that that many things over there went into astray, went so wrong, and broke our consciousness rather than make it. So we are all restructuring the pyramids around the earth, which is very important for you, because we all want to return in that all-seeing eye, the pyramidal function, the capstone of a pyramid, in which we can start to refunction on original content with all the wisdom, the values, eternal light, eternal knowledge, eternal intelligence that all rises from within. And thus, in my former videos, I've been talking that if you look about the pillars of light, so removing the chakras that broke everything that was never meant to be, never existed, like let's say 36,000 years ago, it came into creation with the matrix, with duality, as that could create more duality and diseases and anything that is running rampant actually, and the planet being ruled by the few. So we are becoming the scientists on the earth that are going to repair it. So if you would put yourself into an invisible a translucent, transparent pyramid in meditation, and start to meditate with living light energies, then you can repair those pillars within, that opens up the capstone, that opens up the temples of light that were meant to be on the planet, with huge amount of knowledge, data, information to move into evolution. Evolution is moving very, very fast now, so reconnecting to your own evolutionary tracks through your feet, so never cross your legs actually in meditation. That is the worst you could ever do, because you know all the energies need to stream and flow like a flower of life that brings through the power of life and the self-empowerment. If we look at the flower of life, we all see arcs of energies, and each arc of energy has a pillar of light function in a pyramid. I hope you're interested in that, because a pyramid is actually where higher evolution is heading. It's the construction that is being constructed in a new light body I've been creating and I'm offering here, through which the alchemy into the first golden age opens up. So we are offered to alchemize the cellular construction from the pillars of light, so fusing the chakras in pillars, and with it comes the function or the ability that we are being given to transmute the cells back into light parts. So if we go to a Merkaba, that is a double pyramid, so the pointing on the earth and one point into the heavens, merging heaven on earth, and we open up one pyramidal function and we create the capstone of creation in the brain, then you can flame the origin back into your cells, and through it comes the letting go on an easy way of all of the old, and changing consciousness like 360 degrees overnight. And also for those who find it far too difficult to release all those traumatic experiences and suffer a lot, especially from lung diseases. If we breathe the density in our surrounding, we all have severe lung diseases to some level. Some are aware of it, some not. So I have a free sleep transition that is very, very potent, that works with a light code, in which you can release your traumatic experiences through your nighttime. So you can run it the whole night through, you can repeat it, you can fall asleep with it, and we create a brand new life. So if you would like to experience that, there is a link in the description. So hop on to my website and just run that at night, and that will bring great comfort. And you will see in 5 days times, if you repeat it for 5 days, you will change overnight. That helps tremendously if you would like that. So that is, I hope you want to try to understand these little things, because knowledge is needed to move from moral values into living light consciousness. Consciousness is not streaming on living light for most people, because the attachment to soul consciousness, so moving into the origin, removes, the broken veins of the soul, and so you can move back into your spiritual consciousness, your spiritual body that comes through the pillars of light in the heart, that opens up with a capstone in which you can load your universal essence that talks to you all of the time, which is actually, your higher self essence in the brain talking with you. So the ascending self and descending self comes together, and with it you can open up your own temple of light, your own communication system, and change life in your surrounding, and thus working globally in cooperation as a moral value with the highest level of respect and equality, with team members that are grounding. When I'm speaking about the origin of the earth that is moving into its perfect position because it went off its axis, and thus create that duality we all experience for so many um, lifetimes, is being evaluated, and the planet returning into its perfect balance, access, harmony, strength, empowerment, through the new flower of power of life in the energy fields. You can even put a flower of life around a pyramidal function within your light body, and then you can flourish and just work with the 22 ways of creation, the first 12 ways and the 10 higher ways. And the easiest way, this is just so easy stuff, because if we go back into the origin and we go back into the languages of light, the Aramaic language was killed, and so it was turned back into the Hebrew languages, the Hebrew letters, which remains in the origin. And it's actually the lady vibe that kept its origin, and it was killed over and over and over, which we still experience in society, right? Women still are not equal, and that comes through. So it was actually the male vibration, the gentleman vibration, that went off its axis and created all that malfunctioning. Now both are coming back together, creating the balance within, comes back through the origin. So the easiest way to go back there is loading these 12 types of consciousness within the creator race and the 10 higher race, making up 22 Hebrew letters, Remember, I am that I am is all that you are, but in perfection. Most amongst us are completely, totally out of harmony, out of balance with everything in their life. And so I think it's so difficult for people, I understand this very well, to even, take the courage and readjust eventually your diet, your sports within, and then start, the more difficult things in handling people in your life, handling jobs and businesses, and, but the easiest way here is when just toning Yode Vav He, which is the male female original content, and aligning self to the center point of this earth, moving into its original axis, then you cannot go off anymore. So with each Hebrew letter comes that color consciousness within all of these 22 ways that are very much explained. If you just want to do a very small part, I would just go for the Hebrew letters that are in my description box and just tone them. And if you're attracted to one letter, just keep on toning that letter and become that particular consciousness in that colored way, If you want more respect and receive more respect, you work with Kaf, you work with the Burgundy way. That's all there is to it. That is how simple that it is, because they bring back the living light forces and sources we all lost. And if I'm sitting here, of course, you don't see the wheels of light turning within me, within my feet, but I can see them and I feel them like deep, deep oceanic waves through my body, because I connect with the other side of midnight all of the time. And now is truly the time, since I've been working with the pillars of light, eliminating the old chakra fields that kills us all over time, and so that keeps us cycling actually in survival, in unworthiness, and all those levels of fear people suffer from. There is no need for that, because it's all connected to soul consciousness, and as long as we perform in the healing values of recycled soul consciousness, then it only gives relief for a few hours, and you keep on doing that for years and years, lifetime after lifetime, and you never cycle out of it. So this is truly the lifetime to cycle out of it, become eternal, immortal vibrations, and start working with the origin. That is really, or if you want the true course into alchemy, it is the year it all starts out, and go into a foundational course in which you truly become an eternal healer. You go into the alchemy where we install the capstone of creation, and so you can work directly with your higher self. Then you fly high on every angle of society. There's no you just go beyond the old cycles of healing that are very exhaustive, and that shouldn't be there anywhere. So moving back into those beautiful pillars of light, think about the pillars in Greece, the pillars in Egypt, the pillars in so many countries. They all have huge, huge meaning, and they all carry consciousness, and so we are restoring them. The divine, as I'm told, will not be, let's say, built new pyramidal architectural buildings on the planet. We need to build them to light within us. So, and if we look at a singular pillar of light, for example, they are piled with pyramids. So no more squares or anything, pyramids. And those pyramids, they open arcs of consciousness. Those arcs of consciousness are all contained in the original creation of all of us, which is the flower and power of life. That flower or power of life is connected to the wings of fire, opening up the wings of power within. Doesn't make sense? And so these arcs of consciousness, this is the design I also offer to delete anything unworthiness. So I have a website piled with very interesting meditations. If you want to do the smaller things, they help massively, or just the Hebrew letters, or the larger cards, 70% off right now. Want to go into the alchemy right away, alchemize your life, go into the alchemy and move your vibration on high, meaning, you reduce your sleep, you lift your consciousness, you change from the internal into the outer world and start to merge both worlds, meaning creating the opening into oneness, opening up massive telepathic communication systems with all species globally seen. And so that is very, very important, because those arcs of consciousness opens up into the eye of the divine, the all-seeing eye, the eternal eye, the immortal eye, and so on. So there's many eyes to go through, but then again, there's only technology. And if today the only resistance you may have is technology, then maybe start eliminating that particular thing, that particular resistance, and open up into your true original essence, which is the I am that I am. Yodi, Va, hey, it's all there. If you want to know what the change is about, it's right here in this video. So I hope this information was of help to you and for you, because if we start to work with arcs of consciousness that comes from the flower of life, then each arc, as you can see on this picture, has envelopes of white light. Other arcs have other envelopes, and in envelopes, when you open like a ladder, you open it, there's a ladder within, it informs you with forms of consciousness, right? So then the same goes with light consciousness, and each amongst us has different envelopes that pertain to your individual, unique beauty. How majestic can it truly get? So thank you so much for liking my channel, subscribing, and assisting me in my growth here. And if you want to subscribe to my newsletter, I bring out a lot of new stuff, free meditational alignments, and a lot of stuff that has been broken down from my YouTube channel, or in other words, it was not allowed. So, and yes, other than that, take good care of yourself, and let me know if you're interested in anything that is going back into your origin, and what is your favorite color.